Hello everyone, Jason here with LocalPhotoClasses.com, and I'm here to basically be open for office hours where I'll answer any questions that come my way. And so far we have one question from Lisa Montesanto, and then we have, I think that's it for right now, and then actually a marketing question from Caitlin Hobbs. So, actually, no, that's not a real question. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Lisa's question. And then any point in time, if you are interested in asking a question, you can ask a question live on the YouTube page. You'll be able to add comments on the right-hand side of the YouTube page, or you can add it on our Meetup page. You can send me an email. My email is jason@LocalPhotoClasses.com. I'm pretty much open for the next 30 minutes. And I'll answer one question, this first question here in as much detail as possible. And then if any other questions come in, I'll make sure to take care of those as well. All right, so Lisa's question, and just kind of share my screen with you guys so you guys can see her question. She asked it on Meetup. So here you'll see Lisa's question. She asked, I need to take pictures of clothing and shoes. I want a white background so it looks clean, and reference this particular website, so I'll make sure to look that up. And how can she do this in her house or garage? So taking pictures of clothes and smart articles are relatively easy. So a nice clean backdrop. This right here is easy, and this actual shadow is photoshopped. So this should be relatively simple to discuss. You can see the actual softbox. In this case, it looks like you can actually see the photographer in this photo, so that's not what we want. It looks like a head or some kind of obstruction from the light. That's not a good example. Typically, just the white gleam or like reflection's okay, but you don't want the little obstruction. That just looks a little weird. All right. So how to create a white background? It's relatively simple, so let me pop back to my video here. Video sometimes wants to work, sometimes it doesn't. Well, we won't worry about it too much. All right, so when we last video again. Well, just to walk you through how white background works, I'm going to go ahead and show you this cool diagram. It's called the lighting diagram. Let's do lighting diagram. Here we go. So lightingdiagrams.com. Just go to launch the diagram here. And what's really cool about this is it basically allows you to create like a little lighting diagram. Now, if you're shooting something really small, like what I saw on Meetup here, looked like shoes and clothing. So small articles of clothing, small shoes, you don't need much. So you need a white backdrop. Okay, so you can get a white backdrop. You just kind of follow along here. You can go to Amazon or George's Camera, or whatever's convenient to you, wherever you're located. And you go to, let's say, white roll of paper, and it's a white seamless. Sorry, yeah, it's a white seamless, $40. You can get them cheaper if you go to an actual local store. The shipping's pretty expensive on these things because they're pretty heavy and pretty big. But you can create pretty inexpensive backdrop stands and whatnot. And what I'll do is I actually have a ebook on how to create an inexpensive studio that I can link for you guys to the video. So basically, I will make sure to link that download so you guys can download the ebook that walks you through how you can build your in-home studio for less than $250. It's a pretty killer deal. It's a free ebook that walks you through the whole thing. It'll have all the links to all the equipment that you need. So I'll make sure to link that out for you, Lisa. And when it comes to creating that look, some really important things to keep in mind. Something really easy is a nice, soft So you get a softbox. Like here's a really inexpensive one. You know, 16 bucks is not the highest quality, but it'll get the job done. Say for. So like something like this one right here, 30-inch octagon. So that one would look really good. This one's pretty nice, a 3 foot by 2 foot. So you're looking at pretty inexpensive light modifiers as long as you already have a light. And what you're essentially going to want to do, I wish I could pull my video back up here, but my video does not want to work. Yeah, so I lost my video. So essentially what you want to do is you want to you take the seamless, you put it on a table, and you have it up on a backdrop stand. So something very similar to this. Just now imagine that, let's delete these. So here's your white backdrop. You put your product right here. So let's just take the flowers here. So this is your product, okay? So you have a couple things you can do depending on the product and what it is. There's a lot of different options you have in terms of lighting. You can put your lighting directly, right up on it, and what that will do is it will give you really soft light. Whereas if you go further away, it'll be a little bit harsher. So what you have to do is you have to kind of move your light around. I know some photographers that will put the light right in the front of it. Some will put it right on top. So they actually put it right over top, and it creates a very unique lighting. But a typical setup, and something to practice with to get started, is put a light off to the side like this, and just maybe one light, or maybe put it kind of right in front, something like this, and then put your camera right underneath. You'd basically be underneath it. So let's put the camera first. And then put the. Now I was showing you a softbox. I mean an octabox, but a softbox will work just fine. Preferably the bigger the better. If the softbox is bigger than the subject, that's a good thing. And essentially what we have here is the camera is underneath the softbox. That's lighting this right here. And you're shooting the product from the product's level. That's usually a good place to start for your product photography. Now, there's a million ways to shoot products, depending on how particular you want to get. You can bring over like a reflector and kind of reflect the light back to kind of fill in some light here, as long as it's not in the field of view. I know some photographers that will bring another reflector and do this, or they use other lights. And when it comes to reflectors, this doesn't have to be like a full-on reflector. It could be something as simple as a like a poster board or a piece of foil, or anything that kind of reflects light. Poster board works great, especially if you're shooting something small. You don't need a big 3-foot reflector. You just need something relatively small. So like poster board works just fine. But for shooting just pretty straight on, more catalog type products, not trying to get too creative on a white background, just go ahead, put a nice big light right in front of the subject, maybe off just a little bit to the side to give a little bit of a shadow. So something like this. We'll delete these, and you shoot really close to the product. You get a nice soft light on your subject. Now, when it comes to settings, you'll probably want to shoot around f11, f16 to get a nice shot. A greater depth of field. Make sure everything's nice and sharp. So that means you have to have a pretty high power flash, and bring the flash really close to the subject. So this is kind of like a quick and dirty lesson in shooting product photography. We obviously teach our product photography class, which we held actually this past weekend. And we teach that class about once every other month or so you guys can be sure to check that out. That particular class is not online just yet, but hopefully we'll have it on there the next few months or so. But product photography is something that a lot of people are interested in, especially a nice clean white background. A popular thing that some people will do to kind of make their images pop a little bit more is they will put a piece of glass underneath the white background and paint the bottom of the glass white or black or whatever color they're interested in. and that gives you that kind of reflective look. I'll see if I can find reflective maps. So like, yeah, this is basically like this shot here. They put a piece of glass underneath it. You can see here they actually have it set up that way. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. And basically what you have to keep an eye out on is your reflections and make sure you're not getting any unwanted reflections. So here's another glass example. Here's another glass example. Here's a very large glass example. So there's all kinds of different things that you can do to create some interesting shots. So Lisa, I hope that answered your question. As of right now, it doesn't look like I have any additional questions that have just come in. Let me double check. Nope. Also, be sure to like us on Facebook at Local Photo Classes or Local Photography Classes, facebook.com/localphotographyclasses. And yeah, so far that's our only question. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on pause, and I'll see if any questions show up in the next minute or two. If not, Lisa, I hope you got some good value out of this. And I'll make sure to link back the ebook that I was referencing in terms of like what supplies to buy and stuff like that. And of course, guys, if you ever have any questions, I do this on the second Tuesday of every single month. So you guys are always welcome to come and join me for these live Q&As, and I'm always happy to answer any questions that you might have. So again, thank you for coming out tonight. I'll just hang out here for a few more minutes, and if I don't hear from anyone, I'll go ahead and end the night.